The Sniffer is Minecraft's first official ancient mob, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. By the end of this video right here, you're gonna know the easiest way to find it, the best way to farm it, how to farm these cool flowers too, and even more. Sit back, relax, and buckle up, everybody. This is me, Waddles, and welcome back to the Everything series. Let's do this. The absolute and certified basics. This right here is a sniffer, and that over there, this is not a baby sniffer. No, that's wild. It's a snifflet. Very famously, the Sniffer was part of the 2022 Minecraft mob vote. The Sniffer was first revealed in the mob vote trailer, and from its first reveal, this thing has been a favorite. A couple weeks later, it wasn't even close. The Sniffer absolutely blew the competition out of the water. This was the most one-sided mob vote in Minecraft history. When the Sniffer was first announced, we saw the snifflet, we saw the grown-up sniffer, and we even saw the ancient plants too. From the start, they even said you'd find this thing in the ocean. If you want to talk about consistency, well, this might be the most consistent mob of all time. It's exactly like they said it was. If you're trying to find a sniffer in your world, then you're going to need to find either a lukewarm ocean or a warm ocean biome. But before you do that, you might want to gear up. Having some water supplies might help huge time. To actually be able to locate our sniffer friend today, we're going to need to dig inside of a sus block, specifically sus sand, which means 100% if you bring anything, you need to bring a brush. Because of how the ocean floor and warm ocean ruins generate, sometimes blocks can be covering other blocks, so having a shovel might be smart too. To make this operation even more of a breeze, it might be a brilliant idea to get a good water-breathing helmet too. Bonus points if it's a turtle shell helmet. Brush, shovel, helmet, and then an ocean. You're going to need to find either a warm ocean or a lukewarm ocean. To locate a warm ocean ruin, the best method is by far going to be just sailing around on the top of the ocean. Now, if you play on Java, it's a little cheaty, but you can do this cool camera trick to see clean through the ocean. In third person, go behind the player and move the camera slowly down. If you can find the ledge of the water, remove the HUD, and you can sail and see clean underneath the water. It's almost like you drunk a night vision potion. And speaking of night vision, if you don't want to cheat or you're on Bedrock or whatever, drink a night vision potion and the water will become completely see-through. All you need to do is sail around here until you see sandstone ruins on the ocean floor. Sail around for long enough and eventually you're bound to find an ocean ruin. Once you've located this thing, and be careful, there 100% will be drowned around it. It's smart to take the drowned out first with I guess, a shovel. All I brought is a shovel. Once you've successfully cleared out all bad mobs from the ocean ruin, find a magma block and use the bubble column to move down. If you're crouching and you land on a magma block, you will take no damage. Now that we're down here, and actually inside of this bubble column, we'll be able to breathe still, so that's pretty great. Remember where this bubble column is, because anytime you're running out of air, if you don't have a helmet or potions or something like that, you just go back to it and stand there. We're looking for the sus blocks. This is what a sus sand block is going to look like. It's new to Minecraft 1.20. Once you find a sus block, take your brush and use it on the block. Brush it in. Oh, no. I wish I could say I set that up. I swear, I promise I didn't set that up. You're going to find a sniffer egg eventually, but probably not the first time. The odds are not that good. As of the Minecraft 1.20.1 update, when excavating at a warm ocean ruin, these are all of the things that you could find and their potential chances that you find them too. The sniffer egg, as we can see, has a 6.7% chance. A mere 6.7% chance. What the devs did to us with this one is disgusting, it's dirty, it's terrible. It's sad to say, but more than likely the case is you're gonna have to find more than one warm ocean ruin until you can find a sniffer egg. But I mean, eventually, you should be able to find a warm ocean ruin, and with enough luck, you'll brush a block away and find a sniffer egg. Pick that egg up and you'll get a brand new advancement. Smells interesting. Now, technically speaking, once you've found one sniffer egg, you're set, good to go. You can take that egg and go back home. But in my opinion, the smarter move is to continue excavating around your local ocean until you can find 2 of these things. Then you'll really be set for life. Another thing that might help you when excavating a bunch is, of course, going to be water-breathing potions. Consider bringing some of those too, and you'll have 0 problems whatsoever with breathing under the water. Disappointment. After you found those eggs, take them with you and head back over to land. It's time to hatch them. Next up, we're going to talk all about hatching the sniffer egg. The very first thing you need to do before you hatch your sniffer egg is tap like on this video. Dropping a like on this video helps me out huge time and is definitely related to hatching the sniffer inside of your world. Definitely. I wouldn't lie to you. Back over on Land Sweet Land, thankfully, the sniffer egg is nothing like hatching the turtle egg. If you're familiar with turtle eggs, then you know these things are kind of a pain to hatch. Like, you have to wait around for nighttime, and you have to wait and wait and wait, and then eventually they hatch. Another scary thing about the turtle egg is zombies. The zombies absolutely hate these things. They will walk over to the eggs and stand on them, jump on them repeatedly. Boy, what are you doing? They will smash the eggs. Thankfully, the sniffer, being an ancient species and all, very precious, yeah, nothing cares about the sniffer egg, so you don't have to worry about anything. When you place it down, you're basically good. Even better news for you, if you place this egg down and then you change your mind, well, you can break it with your hand. It won't hurt the egg or anything like that. And so with all of that in mind, you probably figured out that hatching a sniffer egg is very straightforward. All you need to do is place this thing down and then wait. Unfortunately, there's no like light level or time of the day that's going to make this egg hatch a little bit faster. Once you place this thing down, it's just a waiting game. Finding your first sniffer egg might have been a little bit time consuming. Waiting for this egg to hatch will also be time consuming. By default, this thing will take 40 minutes from the time you place it down to hatch. And that's going to be from the moment you place it down. If you place the egg down and then pick it back up and then place it down again, the timer has reset. It's 40 minutes again, starting now. But with the sniffer egg, the devs were a little bit sneaky. There is a great way to speed it up, and that's going to be with the moss block. Place a sniffer egg on a moss block, green particles pop up, and this thing suddenly hatches twice as fast. I guess that means, like, lore-wise, the sniffer, it, like, really likes the moss in ancient times. Unfortunately, there is no way to stop a sniffer egg from hatching, which is kind of a shame because it's a very interesting looking block. It's a little bit less than a full block, but it also goes all the way up. You could use this egg and like do some pretty interesting looking details. Like, what kind of fruit is that? It's pretty wild. Or maybe even if you're big fancy here, it's like a post or something like that. I don't know. I personally really wish you could like wax the egg with honeycomb or something to stop it from hatching. I feel like that would be so cool. Whether it's placed on moss or not, while you're waiting for this egg to break, it'll go through multiple break animations. Eventually, this egg will break, and when it breaks, it's gone. It'll be replaced with a... it'll be replaced with a baby snifflet. Look at this thing. It's tiny, absolutely adorable, and just all-out perfection. Other than the fact that it does literally nothing until it grows up. It's kind of useless. The proper name for a baby sniffer is called a snifflet. The snifflet's bounding box is absolutely tiny. The snifflet will not be able to dig up any seeds. Instead, you're going to need to wait for this thing to grow up, which is going to take about 20 minutes in-game. While the snifflet is growing up, it'll just walk around and make a little bit of noise and basically do nothing. Now, alternatively here, if you're a sniffer pro and you have tons of torchflower seeds, you could feed this thing to the snifflet here and just speed it up a little. You'll actually get an advancement for doing that too. It's kind of cool. But as you can see there, that's gonna take a lot of seeds to do that, so maybe just wait. It might be better. If you're advancement searching in your world though, you will need to feed at least one torchflower seed to a snifflet. Give our friend a little bit of time here and eventually it'll grow up into a full-blown sniffer. The proper, fully grown-up sniffer is a big mob. Look at the bounding box, it's so large. Now the sniffer here, it actually surprisingly doesn't have very much health. It's gonna have 14 health total, which means 1 crit, 2 crit with a diamond sword and it's gone. The drop that the sniffer has, 1 to 3 experience. Do not take the sniffer out. It's literally pointless. Now our sniffer friend has got some interesting intelligence here. Once it's in the world, it'll walk around and sniff for a little bit, then it'll sploot on the ground, then that's the technical name for it. It'll dig a little bit, and then throw up a seed. Excuse me, sir. You blocked the whole view. So first things first, you need to have an adult sniffer. And the second thing second, this adult sniffer needs to have at least a 6x6 block area to search around for seeds. Then you need to give this thing a little bit of time. There's no set amount of time that the sniffer will walk around and search for, but on Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock, the searching is going to be exactly the same. Now once our ancient friend here finds a block with a seed inside of it, it'll sploot down and start digging. While it's digging, do not hit it or interact with it. It can be interrupted, and if it's interrupted, it'll panic and stop digging. Instead, you let our friend go ahead and do all of its digging thing, and eventually it'll throw a seed up onto the ground and then do this clean celebration animation. Seriously, guys, every single one of the animations with the sniffer here is absolutely beautiful. The devs, they were like creating fire when they were working on this thing. It's wonderful. So we've got a cooldown, but we also have specific blocks. Your sniffer will only be able to find seeds inside of these blocks right here. We're gonna have moss, we're gonna have mud, we're gonna have rooted mud, we're gonna have plain old dirt, rooted dirt, coarse dirt, podzol, and grass. However, on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, as of right now, some of these blocks are bugged. I hate to say it, but if you're on Bedrock looking for seeds, your best bet is probably just plain old grass or maybe like dirt or something. I know for certain, moss is bugged. Now there's cooldown here. To make sure the seeds aren't like, I guess, too common or anything, because I guess that would apparently be a bad thing. The devs will put a cooldown on a sniffer, and once the sniffer finds pitcher pod or torchflower seeds, it will not be able to find any more for 8 minutes, which means during that time, it's just gonna walk around and sniff and basically stand around. It'll do nothing. They need a 6x6 area, they need specific blocks, they cannot be interrupted. Oh yeah, and they have a memory too. To make our ancient friend even more advanced than it already was, the sniffer will remember the 20 most recent blocks that it dug in, meaning it won't try and dig in a block that it just dug in again. It's gonna need a new one. Thankfully, this memory is on a per sniffer basis, which means this one remembers its own blocks, that one, and that one. Cheesing this mechanic is pretty easy though. Let's say the sniffer found some seeds inside of that mud block. If I break the mud block and then place it right back down, even in the same spot, it forgets it. If I took this mud block and moved it with, say, a sticky piston, then put it right back, it'll also forget it. Keep those mechanics in mind because we'll come back to it when we talk about farming these things. And for now, let's talk about what these things can actually find. As of 1.20.1, these things can find pitcher pods and torchflower seeds. When the sniffer is digging, it has a even 50-50 chance to find one of these two things. If you find the torchflower seed, consider yourself lucky because it seems to like it more. The sniffer can be tempted or bred with a torchflower seed. Even better here, if you have two sniffers, when you breed a sniffer with a torchflower seed, you get a new sniffer egg. The cycle begins again. You place it down, let it hatch, and you have a third one. It's beautiful. For some very strange reason, the sniffer has no interaction with the pitcher pot, other than finding it. It can't eat it, it can't be tempted with it. It doesn't care about it. Now once you found the seed items, your next move is probably going to be wanting to actually turn those seeds into flowers. These flowers are interesting because these are the very first Minecraft flower that actually grows. To farm these things, start with a basic farming setup. You place the water down, till the land with a hoe. After that, go ahead and plant the torchflower seed or the pitcher pot. With proper hydration and a little bit of time, these things will eventually grow up. Alternatively, you go ahead and speed it up with bone meal. We bone meal that, we get that. We bone meal it again, we get that right there. The flower is ready to go. If I harvest this thing once it's fully grown, I get the torch flower. If I harvest the seed before it's fully grown, I get the seeds back. Unfortunately, once this thing fully grows, it will never drop more seeds. Another huge missed opportunity. The pitcher pot has a lot of growth stages. It starts looking like that, you bone meal it, and oh my gosh, it looks so good. I wish I could keep that one, but we keep going, bone meal and bone meal and bone meal one more time. Once it looks like that, it's ready to go. Go ahead and punch it, and you get one pitcher plant. Now, the pitcher plant is 2 blocks tall, but you cannot bone meal it. You cannot bone meal the torch flower either. Nothing will happen. Of course, decoration. These are 2 beautiful looking plants. This one is based off of this real world flower, and then this one is based off of the pitcher flower, loosely. However, it's not all decoration. If you wanted to, this is the most expensive way to do it, but you could get orange dye from the torch flower, or maybe 2 cyan dye from the pitcher plant. Not very much of a DIYer though, oh no big deal. With a little bit of employment, we don't have to do anything. On Minecraft Java, the farmer villager is actually able to farm these flowers. They can plant them down. If you give torchflower seeds or pitcher pods to the farmer will actually pick it up and... No, don't do that. Don't do it. No, don't do it. Okay, maybe it's not the smartest move. They will compost them sometimes, but they can also plant them. Please, do the trick. Maybe I'm distracting you. Give them a little bit of space. You look around. Yeah, you did it. You're so smart. With the seeds, it will walk around and plant them on farmland. Now, according to the devs, this should work on Minecraft Bedrock Edition 2, but from my testing, it still seems a little bit busted. So I don't know. So sniffer farm. You found the egg, you hatch the egg, you're gonna sniffle it up, you got the big sniffer. You understand the mechanics now, all that's left to do is farm it. If you think about it, farming the sniffer is actually pretty straightforward. It's got a lot of different interesting mechanics here, but basically when it digs, it just throws a seed on the ground. Because of that mechanic right there, that actually makes it so easy to farm. Sliding over to my redstone world, I will spare you all of the juicy step-by-step details here today in this video. Instead, if you want that, check out the tutorial next, but long story short, give the sniffer a little bit of space and then let it walk around and do its thing. Maybe put a minecart rail line right below it with a hopper inside of it. It'll pick everything up and throw it into a chest for you. Don't overcrowd your sniffer farm though, because if you do, the sniffer will bump into each other and have problems pathfinding. Giving the sniffer, say, a 10x10 block area to walk around and then putting a hopper minecart down below it is by far the best way for the sniffer to actually be farmed. Every single time in this farm, when a sniffer finds a seed, that cart picks it up and moves it right over here for me. It's actually kind of beautiful. Another big thing to keep in mind when talking about farming a sniffer is the block memory mechanics. Remember here that our friend, the sniffer over there, will remember the 20 most recent blocks that it dug in. That's going to mean your sniffer farm is either going to have to be big, like 10x10, Or if you maybe want to get a little bit more fancy here, mess around with block movement mechanics. Maybe attach blocks to sticky pistons or just push them around with plain old pistons. Come up with more than 36 blocks for your farm or move the blocks every once in a while and you should probably be good. And so the Sniffer, Minecraft's most recent and most biggest mob vote winner of all time. We made it all the way to the end of the video. If you're still here, big shout out to you. You're my best friend. Some Sniffer fun facts for you. The moving animation, like its leg walking, that's based off of a centipede. It's absolutely terrifying. The more adorable one is this polluting mechanic. When the thing pollutes down, like how it lays on the ground, that's based off of a corgi. If your Sniffer is, say, injured in some unfortunate accident, don't worry, you can heal it back up. By feeding it torchflower seeds, you'll restore a full heart. When the Sniffer was first teased, it was a little bit different. Not only was the texture slightly different, but the sizing was off too. I hate to end on a little bit of a sad note, but according to the devs, the Sniffer is meant to give off a little bit of a sad aura here. I mean, looking at the mob here, it's got the small eyes, the big droopy ears there, whatever that is on the middle, a beak, the mouth, who knows, but yeah, it's meant to be kind of sad. I mean, after all, you would probably be a little bit lonely too if you were an ancient species brought back to life by a selfish player. The Sniffer, everything to know. That's just about it. Now, actually, I got another episode on the Sniffer. In an earlier episode of the Everything series that I made before the Sniffer made it into the game, we speculated on if the vote was actually possibly rigged. For more on that, check out this one. And that's just about everything there is to know about the Sniffer. Thank you all for watching, smash like and subscribe. It's been me, Waddles, with the Everything series. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.